Hey guys.
Awesome. All right. Hey, thanks so much. If I can have everybody's attention, this is Karine Delage. She is from the founder and CEO of the Charisma Agency. We do have a relatively limited amount of time with her today. As you know, this class is only 50 minutes long. And so I'm going to give her the floor, and we can have kind of questions either throughout or at the very end, depending on how things go for you. So go ahead and take it away.
Hey guys. Yeah, I'm gonna be short talking so you guys could ask all your questions, especially that it's a short class. So yeah, my name is Karine Delage. I'm the founder, owner of Charisma Agency. It's a PR firm based out of Montreal, Canada. However, we do work across North America and a little bit in Mexico now too. I created my firm 10 years ago, but I've been in the industry since I'm 8 years old. I'm 41. I know you guys are like, wait, she's 41. But yeah, so when I was 8 years old, I actually started and I went to do random interview with talent, and I called the artist union and they started doing interview with me. They were even coming to my house to do interview. Granted, nobody would do that now because there's so many crazy people out there, so nobody would do this anymore. However, I did over 150 interview in between 8 and 13, and then I worked for the biggest magazine in Montreal when I was 13 for a whole year, and then I started covering the Billboard Music Award, the Grammys. I even went to Woodstock in 1999. If you guys haven't seen the documentary, please watch it on Netflix. It is true what happened with all the fire. It was actually crazy and chaotic because we were backstage. And then I moved to Toronto 15 years ago because I'm from Montreal, and start working for a record label under Universal Music. Then I worked for a small PR firm. Then I worked for an agency for 3 years. They let me go, not because of my work, but someone did not like me. So they kept blaming me for other people's mistake. And I'm saying this because to this day, I'm still working some work like with them on and off, basically. So that's just a lesson to don't be discouraged when you guys go to an agency, especially as a junior. Some people will always see the true value and the true work that you guys do. So, and the reason why I'm saying this is because there are clients now. So they always like send me some clients to work on their project for the French market, because Montreal is in Quebec. Quebec is French out of Canada, basically. So there's that. What else? Yes, I work in music, fashion, sports, entertainment. I work with brands. I work with talents. One of the talent you guys might know, do you guys watch Power? So Power Book 3, that's out right now on Stars, or maybe you guys watch HBO Ballers. So one of my clients is London Brown, who's Uncle Marvin on Power and who is Reggie on Ballers. So that's one of my clients. I also work with Terrell Owens, who's an NFL All-Famer. I work with a bunch of brands. I work on pretty much any side. And yeah, that's a little bit about me and what I do. And fun fact, London just texted me. That was just funny. So yeah, that's a little bit of what I do. Some of my day-to-day work is really like writing press releases, making sure my clients are on point with media coverage, making sure I gather an Excel sheet with all my coverage that I get for my clients. I organize events, launches. So it's pretty busy. And I know you guys are new, or I think, wait, which semester are you guys in?
Yeah, this is intro to PR.
Oh, this is fun. This is your first. Okay, you guys are like fresh peas. That's cool. So as an FYI, you guys might love the word PR. You might love the whole idea of, hey, I could work in entertainment, sports, but you guys need to understand, and I'm pretty much or pretty sure I'm not the only one who's going to say this, but it's not a 9 to 5. I just want you guys to be ready for this. And I'm pretty sure Nathan said the same. PR is super fun. We never do the same thing over and over. And probably that's one of the reasons why I love what I do. But you guys need to understand that it's a lot of hours and a lot of behind the scene. So obviously, when you work with talent, you'll go on red carpet, you'll go to events, brands, you'll do lunch. It's fun. You'll see so many people. It's great to have coverage in the media as well. But there's also the behind that journalists won't always say yes. And you're not going to get a GMA or New York Times right away. So my point of what I'm saying is it's really like the whole, it's a marathon. It really is. So you have to go from the start and go slowly. And also what I was saying is it's a lot of long hours sometimes, especially like, for example, I do the PR for La Force, which is like the new Montreal hockey team, female professional hockey. There is a couple of teams in the US, so it's a new league. The girls are getting paid finally to play hockey, which is great. So, but that being said, I'm saying it's a lot of hours because yes, during the week, I'm not full-time on them because it's a new league. So sometimes you'll have clients and you'll do a lot of work, but you won't be full-time for the client. So on top of them being really active right now, because the season is about to start, I have my other clients. So sometimes I will go to bed at midnight, and especially if I travel with the team. We are playing in Buffalo next week, not this weekend, next one. So I will have to be with the team from Friday until Sunday. So whatever I would be doing in Montreal or in Toronto or wherever, it's shorter amount of time. So it's really a lot of time management that you guys will have to be good at, basically. So yeah, that's me.
Questions at all? Don't be shy. Please.
So where did you get your, like, how did you get your foot in the door? I know, like you said, you've been working since you were 8, but you know, like for us, once we graduate, like where'd you start? How did you get to where you were working with?
Yeah, that is actually a good question. And what's important for you guys is you guys are at school. You guys, I'm not going to say you have a lot of time because it's not true. There's midterm, there's a lot of studying and everything. However, it is a good time to start getting your contact out of the door. Start making research of the industry you want to work in. If it's sports, look at the agencies. Look who is currently working with sports. There's a lot of agencies that do sports. There's entertainment, there's brands. So it's pretty much, you guys are, when you get out of like university, or even when you're still in university, try different things. You might want to love sports, but you're going to find out that, well, sport is not for me. I want to be more in a bigger agency. I want to be in a boutique agency. So you guys right now have time to do trials. Like, oh, I love this. Oh, this maybe not. And also start making your own connection with the media. That being said, whichever city you guys are in, whichever city you guys want to work in the US, look at who's the media. Small TV show, bigger TV show, because there is like 50 states in the US. Think about it this way. Clearly, you're not going to get a GMA right away. Or I'm saying clearly, who knows? Sometimes it happens. But there is a lot of the morning shows. There's at least like 5 morning shows in a big city. But each state have 2 or 3 big cities, and sometimes even more. So always look at even the smaller TV show, the smaller outlet, and all those outlets start making your contact, because those smaller outlets, or normally those journalists, will be the one graduating, if I could say, and go to the bigger outlet. Look at podcasts. Start listening to podcasts about PR. Just always learn. listen, I'm 41. I still learn every day, especially from you guys sometimes, because I don't always watch podcasts, don't listen to podcasts all the time, or I always learn about new things from like social media. But that being said, this is a good tools because you guys know those things. You guys are right in. So even when you guys do an internship, you can make older people, if I could say that. I can't believe I just call myself that way, but hey, we'll go with it. But you can make us learn new things. And that's the beauty of it. Like you guys need to always make sure you keep learning. And especially if you in long run, you guys want to go on your own. Clearly, maybe not right away. You guys are still at school. That's still a little bit. But make sure you take classes about finance and business. It's really going to be helpful. Especially because a lot of time PR people after maybe a year or two in an agency will want to go freelance, which is amazing because you could do your own schedule, your own thing, but you need to know about finance, how to budget and everything. And I'm saying this, but even when you guys are at school, it's a good thing. And business, learn about the basic of business at bare minimum. It will help you on your day-to-day life and on a PR standpoint. And then also, you know what? Read about other countries. Read about what's going on in Canada, what's happening in Mexico. We're next door. Like, it's clearly Canada is your neighbor. So you need to know bare minimum about the top things happening in politics or entertainment, like the top artists. Yes, I know you guys know about Drake, you guys know about Bieber and what, but there is so much more to the culture. And I'm saying this, it's the same for me as a Canadian. I always have to keep myself updated because I work in the US. And same as Mexico, like I always have to learn where I want to work, where I'm working. So, and again, it takes 5 minutes in the morning. You don't need to read the entire newspaper. You just read the headline, just, you know, just so you know what's going on. And long run, learn another language. I know like school is a lot right now, so learning another language might not be top priority, but no matter what you guys do, this is going to be a good in to any agency. If you tell them you speak Spanish, if you tell them you speak French, this is all pluses for you guys. So yeah, just keep learning because I do it all the time. And make sure you have a good time management. Don't just study or work. Make sure you always take at least an hour for yourself each day. I know it's easier said than done. Trust me, I'm there. But I try to at least go for a walk or at least go to the gym. Because if not, you guys are gonna go crazy, especially in the world we are. We're bombarded with so much information, with school, with work. We want to do like our best on everything. Just make sure you take time for yourself.
How many employees do you have like at your firm?
I have 2, and then I have interns. So depending on the amount of work I have to do or whatnot. And now I'm doing more stuff in the US, so I'm looking into getting some employee in the US as well, just because I have a lot of work. Actually, I have almost equal amount of clients in the US and Canada right now.
How has the political climate like cancel culture changed the PR industry?
Yeah, that's a crazy climate, to be honest. It's so sensitive right now, especially because social media, as much as is an amazing tool, does not help. People these days are either way more sensitive or they're not giving people like a second chance. So each time to my clients, I need to be like, be careful on social media, what you post, what you say, because you never know. You never know how someone could take it the wrong way, even though that is not at all what you meant to say. It almost happened to me earlier this summer too. someone literally tried to, and I had nothing to do with the whole story, and someone tried to bring me down on social media. Granted, it did not work, but that's the game right now, and it's just so hard because even if you're the best person, even if when you try to do as good as you can for everybody, there's always someone that will try to bring you down. But that being said, you also have to be careful on how you respond on social media, because again, same thing, when someone gaslights you, if you can say that, you need to stay quiet as much as possible, because if not, what it's going to do is that person is just going to put more and more and more on the fire. So you need to be just quiet, because then that way people don't have anything else to say. They can't add to the fire. That's my best advice, because that's what I did, and it just kind of went away. I know it's not like that all the time, trust me. Like a Kanye West, for example. Just had to say this.
In school, what was the best class that helped you prepare for your job?
Actually, you know what? I did not study in PR, to be honest. On a PR standpoint, I really learned on my own, meaning by going in the industry, by looking at press releases, by working at the record label. I did take entertainment business classes. And I think that the best tool in any shape or form is for you to be hungry, to know about what you want to do in life. And I'm saying this because if PR is what you want to do, you know what you want to do, then you gonna learn every single thing about it by reading or whatnot on top of at school. And I think that because the thing is too, when you're at school, you guys are learning with the books and everything, but you need to be able to talk to other professionals like me, like Nathan, like whoever, and ask them questions. Learn, like be curious. Don't just like stick to the book, just be extremely curious and learn on your own, because that's what's going to bring you to another level than the people that are right next to you that are just going to learn. And if that's really in whatever you guys want to do in life, that's really important.
Good advice.
Yeah. So I'm currently stuck between journalism, PR, and I'm kind of taking classes in both and majoring in both. Can you give me like I don't know,
And then,
just what the differences are, or your experience with both? And
well, you know what? One pretty much goes with the other. And I'm saying this in the sense that because you're studying journalism, it's going to help you understand how to deal with those people on the PR standpoint, and vice versa. Also, it's going to help you with the writing, because writing as a journalist is different than PR, and it's more like you have to write more. PR, I mean, we do reports, you do press releases, strategy, but it's two different type of writing. So just because I've done both and I've done like interviews in the past and whatnot, I feel like both will help you, especially because when you have like talents or brand and they want to learn on, how to talk in front of a camera, how to do a podcast, and just make sure that your client is well prepared. Yes, you'll learn it on a PR standpoint, but on a journalist standpoint, you'll learn it differently, and it's going to give you pointers to how to help your clients even more. Okay. So my point is both of them are really good. And if you're doing a major in both, it just gives you like extra tools. That's pretty much what I was saying earlier, even, about marketing classes or business classes. Those are good, like add-on. Journalism classes, not all of them, but like if you want to go more into PR, those are good add-ons too. And if you're doing both, make sure that when you come down to do, because you guys have internship, right?
Yes.
So when you come down to do internship, I would say do internship in both. And even at school right now, I would intern at like the local newspaper on a journalist standpoint, or I would try to get my foot in the door into some agencies, even if it's online or if it's just, helping them doing some events, because a lot of agency, especially after COVID, are all shorter in staff. So they always look for people to help them during events, festivals or whatnot. So always look for those opportunities, because that's going to bring you closer to, again, the real world.
So then, I'm interning right now with the university's social media manager. So I'm running like the different departments' social media.
Yeah.
Do you guys also do that? Is that part of PR or is that separate?
It is for certain people. It's so public relation has so many different angles, and it's always like a gray area, if I could call it that way. And I'm pretty sure I see Nathan agreeing. See, here's the thing. Public relation is, yes, communication. It's a little bit of marketing, but it's not. We do social media, but not all the time. Sometimes it's more like we have social media specialists that will just deal with social media, but sometimes clients want us to do it as well. But yeah, it always depends. And that's why it's important to touch a little bit on everything. But just make sure you don't think as PR as only media relation or strategy or crisis management, because it's everything. It's a melting pot of everything. And I think that, at least for me, this what make the beauty of PR. Because again, you go do a 9 to 5 in another area of work, it's more so like the same thing over and over. But PR is so diverse that each day you'll do something different that will combine with something you did like yesterday.
Thank you.
Kind of with that, what is, in your opinion, what is your favorite thing about your job, and then like the worst thing about your job?
Favorite thing, like I keep saying, I think it's like the diversity of what I do. Because, well, like for example, today I have to work on men's swimsuit. I have to work on Ray and Greet from The Roots because he has a symphony. So we're going from like men's swimsuit to like classical music to hockey. You know what I mean? So no days are boring, basically. What I don't like about what I do, I mean, obviously, PR is one of the most stressful jobs. It's not that I hate it, it's just the fact. So yeah, sometimes I'm just overly stressed. And then I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm so done. But then I'm not. Like, that's just like, I love what I do. And because of I love what I do, I don't think there's something I could say that I hate or I don't like. Maybe something I like less doing would be to do a million press release when I have a million client needed press release. I'm really creative, so I like ideas. I love like out of the box stuff, events that I do. I love getting coverage for my clients. So, but when it comes down to just like the nitty gritty of just writing, it's not I hate it. It's just like it's not the part I like the most. Let's put it that way. And I think it's for a lot of people like that in PR.
With the fashion industry, what would you say is the biggest difference compared to the other industries you work with?
I don't think it's a big difference. I just think that sometimes, and depends on the market, it gets harder and harder to get coverage, especially after COVID. And the reason being is because media, the landscape of media right now is getting smaller and smaller. So you have like one journalist that will cover for 5 different outlets. Or in Canada, a lot of the media are just going online now. So post media, what can I compare post media to? Post media could be compared to like router. So like it's more like an agency type of thing, that if a journalist cover, let's say, your fashion show, then it might go national because the article could go from one paper to the other. Or Associated Press, same idea. So post media normally had a lot of journalists that were doing the print and the online. Right now what's happening is that they just decide to cut a lot of their print to just be online, which is great in a way, but in another way, it just means there's less and less and less journalists that covers things, or they have less amount of time to do so. And they focus on more, politics, economy, or what's going on in the world, or health. So because of that, something like fashion, something like entertainment, unless you're like a Tommy Hilfiger, or like one of the big brands, or like Juan Smith, or you're like Adidas, Puma, whatever the case is, you're not gonna get as much coverage. They're not gonna go fetch for like the new designer or the new people unless you have a really good story. And that's in general. Whichever clients you have in whichever area, fashion, sports, entertainment, food, technology, there's a lot of NFT is actually hard to get coverage. They have their own little bubble. That's a whole other topic. But my point to this is, you need to make sure that whichever clients you have, you work with them on developing a really good story prior to go to the media. Because if it's not a good story and it's just like, okay, yeah, there was a fashion show, that's it. Oh, there's a new collection. Okay, well, what's special about the collection? Is it because it's sustainability, eco-friendly? Like, oh, their background was this and this and this. Just make sure that, I'm saying on fashion ends, right? But it's the same for any type of clients, because best example too, an actor, London, I'll just take London. Power Book 3 last episode was this past Sunday. Now he's filming the 3rd season. But that being said, if after filming the 3rd season, he has a gap between filming 3rd and if they go to 4th season, well, that gap, you still have to keep your client in the news somehow. So you always have to find like different angles. So that's more like on a talent perspective. And it goes too with like NFL players or MLSC, MLB, whichever, because athletes are the same idea. Your athlete might have just won a gold medal at the Olympic, but there's a gap. So that, let's say that was for Summer Olympics. Okay, so what are you going to do with the client during winter? You want that client to keep being accurate. So you guys as a PR professional always need to make sure that you have different angles that you could be like, oh, that client like, I don't know, cooking. He has a passion for gardening. I'm saying this like, but you know what I mean? So each passion they might have, or take photos or painting or whatever, or stand-up comedian, because London is a stand-up comedian. So you just switch it and then you get different angles for the journalist. So always make sure to be accurate and have a good story.
How do you get clients? Do you just network? Do you just ask people, do you need a client? How, like, did you just start your agency and then because you had clients already, like freelancing, like how did that kind of whole timeline go?
So my story is a little bit different because of the background I had, that I was covering events and whatnot. And also the PR firm that I worked with 3 years, I was the only one that was allowed to have external clients. I'm telling you right now, no PR firm allows this. But the reason why I was, it's because I was in charge of the pre-red carpet event for the Much Music Video Award. Much Music in Canada is like the MTV in the US. MTV is bigger scales, but same idea. So I was doing the pre-red carpet event with a big gifting suite, and they were looking at like they saw the big opportunities that they could bring their brands to the event. And then I was able to still have talent because it was not coming in conflict of interest. So that being said, when they let me go, I might have, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to leave, but I never did. And that was just like the little kick in the butt, if I could say that. And I started to have one client, and then it's the trickle effect. But that being said, I was already involved in the industry. I was already doing a lot of networking. And again, that's a good point. Like networking actually is really important for you guys. When there's events in your city, whatever it is, always try to network. The conference, for example, South by Southwest. If it's something that music interests you, film, South by Southwest is a good thing to go to. They also have like a online webinar, or whatever it is. Always try to network as much as possible in your own city where you guys are right now, but also online. I know sometimes smaller city, it's a little harder, but try to see what's happening. If there's conference, you guys could do online. Honestly, students, you guys have the best life in that world because it's barely costing anything to be a part of a seminar or a marketing or a PR conference. But networking is the best, and make sure on the same idea that your LinkedIn is top notch. Please start working on your LinkedIn. And I'm pretty sure Nathan said the same thing before. LinkedIn is your gold tickets to a lot of things. I mean, just one example of that, right? I started working with someone in the Latin music industry. I think it's like a year ago, 7 months ago, whatever. My knowledge of the Latin industry is not there. It will, and it's working towards. But in the past 4 months, when we release new music, I start networking. I start approaching the higher up in the industry, just so I could connect with them, and I could learn more and more and more. And my LinkedIn, well, because of my experience and everything, they are reaching back to me and whatnot. Obviously, you guys LinkedIn are not there because you guys are starting, and it's normal. But don't be afraid of sending like professional DMs or a professional message on LinkedIn and be like, hey, I'm new to the PR world. However, I want to learn. Is there any way we could have a talk? Can I ask you some questions? Just always make sure that the way you interact with people, either by email, by LinkedIn, Instagram, is always like professional. And just to go back to even what we were saying about the cancel culture and social media, please make sure like you have a professional Instagram. If you want to post friends, fun stuff, whatever you guys do. I know you guys are in university, you guys still party. I mean, I'm 41, I party. But the point of this is just make sure that people cannot go back and retrace a night out that you guys were blasted because you guys drink too much, or because you guys party too much. You did stupid things. We all do. I'm sure Nathan did. I did too. We're not perfect. Nobody is, right? But just make sure that if you want to post stuff like that, make that account private. And that is just your people that could see it. But have a professional account or a professional way of talking. But you guys post more about like professional stuff, like about your PR life, about what you guys like. That is clean. That you have like a clean account, if I could call it that way. Does that make sense? So people cannot, because even in the professional work life, right? When you guys are going to go to work, I mean, you guys are already working, obviously, but when you're at work or you want to grow in the work position or you want to grow in the PR world or whatnot, we're in the public eye, no matter what you say. Like what I do will reflect on my client. What the client do will reflect on you. So the way you want your client to be seen in public, the brands, the clients, well, at the end of the day, you need to reflect yourself properly too, because people are not going to take you seriously.
Other questions? All right, anything else that you wanted to add to what you've already said here today, or any
I'm
questions?
good. I mean, if you guys have questions or anything, I think Nathan has my info, but you guys could follow me on social, on Instagram, and then you guys could email me any questions. I'm here.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
All right, thank
We
you.
have like random summer weather here. It's 30 degrees Celsius, so it's like upper 80s somehow. Does not happen in Canada at this point, I'm telling you. Bye.
Bye.